Welcome back to the Social Media Sobriety Podcast. I'm your host, Ty Bermundo. I apologize for the delays in the uploads. It's been a crazy 3 weeks here with my guest for today and I guess my player, Ben Stone, we'll get to in a minute. We've been out in Israel, which is also going to be another episode coming up. We also have that interview with Lab Golf. It should be a great time. But for this episode specifically, I have Ben Stone here, who is going to talk to us a little bit about how his life has changed in the last couple of months, years. So Ben, please tell the audience about who you are and what you're here for.
So I'm Ben Stone. I play baseball. I'm a collegiate athlete, and I've been under Tyler for a few years now, and he's like my older brother. So I've been really excited for this trip for so long. Being in Israel, I've never been here before. And I sought out to win gold, and we did. Even when we were down 3-1, it was kind of hard to believe in yourself, but I feel like I rallied the guys up to be the best we can, and we did it for the flag, for our country, and it meant a lot more than just the red, white, and blue. It just meant for all like the soldiers at home, for everybody. It was more than baseball, because baseball is just a game at the end of the day, but it's about the people that you have it with. So I love that about this trip.
And you're going to hear more about us as the video goes on, but this guy threw 6 2/3 innings in game 6?
Yeah.
After throwing a couple games earlier, when he also had mono and was it tonsillitis for three weeks. What, 2 weeks is when you got out of the hospital for the tournament? So that part's incredible. That's a miracle in itself. But no, thank you again, Ben, for being here with me. If I had to generalize you, which not, you're a person who has just so many stories and personalities. But if I think Ben Stone, I think of a guy that loves baseball. I think of a guy that kind of grew up in Cali, bit of a Jewish background. And then I think of the person you become, which is all about anti-social media and how you don't use it anymore. So please tell the audience a little bit about your story with social media. When did you first have it, and when did you first delete it, and why?
So I was allowed to have it at like a younger age. I had like a page for baseball and surfing because my dad made it and thought it would be good for me for like getting views and stuff. But over time, I thought it was like derailing my mind. Honestly, like I would just be like, why am I using this app if I'm seeing things I don't want to see? Like I don't want to see like the top of Mount Everest. I want to like go experience that. I want to experience these things. I don't want to see like brutality on like a regular basis. It's just gonna sadden me. Or like I don't have Instagram anymore. I don't have TikTok. I deleted Snapchat, all the apps I had before. And honestly, like I feel so much better about myself, and like I'm always the person that doesn't want to be like everybody else, and having that, like, I don't know, I've had more of a connection to God without it, and seeing things I didn't want to see and now not at all seeing them has helped me a lot mentally.
Did you have a moment too where it kind of clicked for you to say, hey, I really need to get off this?
Yeah, so that was probably over a month ago. I'd say like the end of senior year, I was just like, wow, I really don't need, like I'm wasting time. Like during like that, when I had like tests, I'd procrastinate like the night before and like cram studying instead of like studying before, and I'd do like go on Instagram Reels for like an hour, and then like another hour, and then another hour. So it's like I was doing things I shouldn't have been doing on Instagram or like TikTok or whatever, or using Snapchat, and just procrastinating my life. And I don't even have games on my phone. And honestly, because of Tyler, I've really realized that, and I stopped just using social media in general, and it's really helped my life for the better.
And you mentioned to me too one time about kind of the anxiety that came in. You even had to get an outside source. Talk to me a little bit about that anxiety. Like, how did you feel on a daily basis using social media, Ben?
So the anxiety definitely creeped in because, I got diagnosed with general anxiety over a month ago, and honestly, I didn't know I had it until like I realized I needed to better myself. And with deleting all these social media apps, definitely like I feel like an improved human being for sure. And I would advise everybody to delete it, because like why would you not want to live life out here? It's beautiful, and you get to meet people instead of just being on your phone and texting the person that's sitting next to you. I feel like that's a little weird. So and I've definitely had to realize that over time because I was that kid, and now like seeing other kids do it, I'm like, oh, well, why are they doing it? But I know I did it, so I can't really be hating that much. But the anxiety part, it definitely crept in because like the things I was seeing on social media was not things I want to see every day, and it like definitely like depressed me, or like it definitely affected my mental health. And ever since I deleted it, I've 100% felt better. I'm so determined. I'm always outside. I'm doing something productive every day. I'm closer to God. I'm just a better human being from it. So I'd advise anybody to delete it.
Now I want to talk about that word specifically, addiction, because when I think addiction, right, if you think alcohol or drug,
right,
there's not a choice. People must go back to their drug. Did you have ever the feeling that you couldn't put your phone down, and was that the addiction per se?
So I have ADHD, and I would always need to pick up my phone to have like an app or have something like to keep my dopamine rush going. And like ever since deleting these apps, I've had like such like a clarity in my mind, honestly. And it was a bad addiction. I would always be on it, but now like if you really want to text me, like you have my number. So that's how I get people to talk to me. I don't need like other apps for you to talk to me. So that's how I thought of addiction.
All right, so now run me through, you said this happened a month ago. You could either take me back to last summer or early on this summer. What did a normal day look like for you before you were off social media, and how about now?
So before social media, I remember a time, like December area, like Christmas break, and I was on my phone when I woke up for like 2.5 hours, and then I realized I was like, what am I doing? Like what? Like I'm like wasting so much time and wasting my life, and like over time I really had to like self-check myself and realize I'm like I need to be better than this. This is not like the person I know. I don't want to look in the mirror and say that's like the best version of myself. And then I can sleep better at night now without these addictions and be like, this is Ben Stone. Like this is the guy I want to be and who I will be. So like with that addiction part, like I was so addicted, I'd just be on it all the time at like nighttime, or like I'm with friends or something, I'd be on my phone instead of just being out and like interacting, or just because I feel like I have such like a personality to be around people. I feel like Tyler and Ben could say that. So like being on my phone did not help that at all, and like it just got bad, and it was just like me being on my phone all the time, and like I'd have like a 7-hour screen time every day, and like I just knew I had to delete it at some point. And then when I did, I don't go on my phone at all. All I do on my phone is text or play music, and that's kind of it. Like I'm outside, I'm doing things for the better, and I think Tyler could see that on this trip as well.
And so how Ben and I's relationship got started is I knew him 2 years ago. I coached him in a week-long baseball Jewish tournament, and this year was we were in Detroit that year. Anyway, so we were in Detroit. I actually didn't even know who he was before the tournament. We just got paired up, and he ended up being one of the best players. But I was very impressed with his leadership and who he was. He was very outgoing, and then when I heard about this addiction, I was shocked, and it didn't seem like he was the person to be under the influence per se. And it's kind of just to show any person out there, you don't know what someone's going through, especially on social media. And I think it's very important to know that it could be the person you least expect that is dealing with this. I mean, was there a time where you told your parents or your friends, and what was their reaction? Because to me, I was shocked when I heard this.
Yeah, so I told my parents, and like they definitely like they want the best for me, of course, and like I told them, and they like there was times where I was crying. I was like, it was so bad that the addiction was so bad to my phone, where I just like I felt so like helpless, and like I was crying, and I was just like, it was just getting to my head so much, where like where I am now is so much better than where I was a month ago, or a little bit past a month ago, because there are so many like I guess like demons going on because of that bad addiction. And it's just like a drug. It's literally anything just like that. It takes a toll on you, and I don't have any games anymore on my phone. I don't have anything, so like my mind's pretty free, and and I've definitely seen that, and it's definitely just such an improvement.
And if you don't mind sharing, because I remember this from our conversation, you used the word demons. Talk to me. What were those demons?
It kind of got dark in there of like suicidal thoughts or like things that like I never would do, but they were just there because that was it, and it would be telling me things that I shouldn't be doing in my head and I would never do, because if you knew me, like I would never do that. And it was just like depressing thoughts where I would just continuously do that. And like over time, since I've had like a 2-hour screen time or whatever, like these things have led to me being such like a happier person, and like again, like I'll always say like closer to God, because like I obviously have, and people who know me would say I obviously have too. So like I honestly think my life has just gone in a better trajectory than it was before.
And I also like I don't want to pry too much, but you said like you had these thoughts. Can you give me one example of maybe a thought and maybe why it came up?
Like honestly, I could just tell you it wasn't because I was actually gonna do any action. It was just there because like I was like so mentally weak, and like since like being on my phone for like 2 hours when I'd wake up, or like when I'm going to school, I'd go on my phone and scroll for like 30 minutes, then go in the shower. Like that's not like a healthy balance. So like instead I would just do push-ups or sit-ups and do like workout circuits in the morning and get my mind going. And I'm way mentally tougher now. I'm way mentally stronger, and I'm way more focused and determined than where I was before.
And what messages did social media send you when you were on there? Because if it led to that, there must have been some sort of...
It was just depressing stuff, because like my feed would just be anti-Semitic stuff, or like not even just that. It would just be like things I just don't want to see, and like it didn't help my ADHD at all, because like it would just make my mind just go like 1,000 miles per hour at a time, and then I just knew like I have to delete this, like. And I had to tell everybody around me, I'm like, hey, I'm deleting this for good. This isn't gonna like change. So just get used to it, because this is me now.
And the other thing I want to talk to, then we're gonna totally change the mood of the episode to how it's changed. But if you know Ben Stone, baseball is such a big part of his life, and for a while, all of a sudden he lost the love of the game. And I know there was other factors that contributed, but how did social media take you from somebody who absolutely loved this sport from day one to almost saying, hey, I'm done with this for the rest of my life?
So I'd honestly, like seeing other athletes and stuff, I'd compare myself to them and say like I'm not as good as them or anything, but in reality, that's not me. I have all the self-confidence in the world that I could be better than you and I will beat you. So like that wasn't me, and I had to find that over like my high school years, because I would just compare myself to other people and it would make me want to quit, or like just honestly being so weak mentally. Like I didn't have that itch. I didn't have the willpower to do anything anymore. Like I was working out on a daily basis before, and then I'd go on my phone at the gym and I wouldn't be as like doing the reps I should be doing. So there's like that addiction got to be so like I would say evil, because it would just get to me.
Yeah, and it's just such a common theme with people who use social media and let it define them. And you know, I this is not a podcast, I've said this before, where I'm suggesting get off social media and social media is terrible, because it's not. And even somebody who's gone through it probably knows there are good things about social media, but it's really just to share people's stories and understand why your journey may be different, why this person's journey different, and how you can actually maximize social media for you, like the person listening to this, to work it best for you. And I think for you, Ben, maybe there's a day you go back to it, maybe not. Maybe he's not really saying he's not, but I think it's at least good to know what works best for you. Now I want to flip it, because you've now been a month sober, social media sobriety. I guess first, what were some of the withdrawals? Like, was there anything that was tough at the beginning? And then we'll totally branch out into how it's made you the Ben Stone today?
The withdrawals, honestly, there wasn't many because I got tougher from like day one. I was so set on this goal of not having any of these apps. I haven't downloaded them since. So I knew that I wanted this goal, and knowing me, I wanted to achieve it, and I did, and I have, and I'm not gonna download these apps back because I don't need it. And if you on it, like I said before, if you want to reach out to me, you text me because that's the only way you're gonna do it.
And when did you realize you were kind of getting your life back?
Honestly, right before I got into the hospital, so I had mono and tonsillitis, almost a month ago, and I was starting to get my swagger back. Honestly, I'd say swagger. I started getting it back, and then I got ill and I was in the hospital for almost a week, 6 to 7 days or something, and right after I got that itch to play baseball again. I just wanted to do something. I haven't exercised. I've been in bed for a week basically. And while I was there, my dad got me this new glove, and I was like, all I gotta do is use this thing. I'm so excited. And Tyler came out day one when I was sick, so that meant the world to me. And having people come out meant the world to me. And even being there, I had no social media, so I wasn't on my phone doing anything. I was watching TV, and I was almost dying basically, but yeah, no, it actually felt better that I realized it there, having no social media, because I wasn't having any withdrawals, because I was I'm so sick, and I don't need these things to not help my life at all, and I don't need to download it to still mentally derail me. And then after I met this person named Mason Englert.
Shout out Mason.
He's one of my heroes. So is he. So when I met Mason, it was so random. He came from a field.
Wait, who's Mason Englert?
Mason Englert. Well, I was gonna get to that.
Right.
So this guy, random person so far, he comes from a field, and then on the other side, he goes up to me, and he says, "Hey, can you play catch with me?" And I was like, "Is the sky blue?" Of course I would. And this was 3 days after I got out of the hospital, and I was still a little down, I'd say. And that morning I read the Torah, so I was trying to get back into a godly manner and trying to just improve. And he's like, "Hi, my name is Mason Englert. I play for the Tampa Bay Rays." I'm like, "Are you serious?" That's the coolest thing in the world.
And keep in mind, this is middle of the season.
Yeah, no, he just played the Angels, which that's not that. They won every game, so it's not that hard to do.
Yeah, we're both Angels fans, but we can brush past that.
We can say that. So Mason came in, and he just played catch with me for an hour and spoke to me for an hour after, and he just showed me so many things about life. Told me about how he's a Christian, but how much he loves Judaism, or he gave me his number, so I text him almost pretty regularly. So after that, I felt like that was divine intervention in a way, because of how down I was in my life, and he spoke about God to me, and I honestly thought, I was this guy has to be a prophet or something. This guy is everything to me, because obviously being a godly man and playing baseball and coming from him, I was this guy's everything to me. So in that moment, I was that jump started everything for me. Everything after that has been roses. It's been beautiful.
All right, so a couple questions. First one's maybe less serious. How did you survive being in a hospital without going on social media? Because don't get me wrong, as much as I don't really love social media myself,
yeah.
I mean, that's pretty dang boring, right?
No,
what did you do? I mean, how did you get through your days? Because you were in there for 3 weeks. It's unbelievable.
So I'll tell you, I played games like Scrabble and stuff. I did old lady stuff. I tried to be as interactive with the doctors and stuff and nurses that were helping me, and they spoke to me for hours. They were super cool. And my friends would come over. My mom was always with me. My dad would come in at night. So I always had people around, and I had a baseball in my hand. I would just flick it in the air, or a tennis ball, or like doing something. And then when I was starting to feel better in my legs, they let me like walk around the hospital. So that was my way of like becoming an athlete again. And I was just doing things like, I don't know, like writing stuff down, like journaling, or like manifesting it in my mind of how I want to win gold here in Israel, and I did. So like the things like that, I just visualized how great I want to be, and I thought of it more like it was downtime than anything, because I knew I wasn't gonna be exercising or getting up much. So like, I'm gonna make the best of this terrible situation. And I had a TV. I could watch baseball all day. It was College World Series, Kansas Saturday loss, and I got to see the Angels lose pretty regularly, except they beat the Dodgers one time.
Yeah, that was cool.
And the Cubs. So it was yeah, no, it was pretty cool. So I got to do things where I usually wouldn't play Scrabble or like all these like drawing things. I wouldn't do all that in my free time, but I do journal every night instead of using my phone. So
no, and that's beautiful, and it shows you that it is possible to go really without on social media, even in a time where you probably don't have many other options. Yeah. So thank you for sharing that. Now we're gonna tie in Mason in this a little bit, but I think the thing I want to talk about is a little bit about your faith and how it's changed, because you said before on social media there was anti-Semitism, and you really weren't very religious prior to this incident, and now we're also on a beautiful trip. Shout out Maccabi USA.
Yeah,
this is incredible. How has your relationship with your faith changed over the last month or so? How did social media play a part of that? You know, we were talking Mason. I mean, if you're listening to this right now, I'd love to have you on, talk about a little bit of faith and professional baseball. Because I don't believe he's on social media, is he?
No, he's not.
So
that's what also hooked me on being like, this guy's like a hero to me.
Yeah, no, he's a diehard Angels fan, Cubs fan, and a Mason Angler fan.
Yeah.
No, so tell me a little bit how that faith changed, whether it was a personal thing or maybe just not even seeing it on social media. Talk to me a little bit.
So, honestly, like, I was pretty reformed before, like, that's all I knew. And then, obviously, being here, like, opens your eyes to everything. I feel like I've been so, like, blessed with being on this trip, and, like, knowing that I was gonna go here made me, like, I wanted to prep for it, and I wanted to be closer to God, and I felt like when I deleted social media, that was a huge step. And I would start reading the Torah. I would start trying to like learn more Hebrew. I would start trying to, in ways, like be kosher. I tried to I'd stop eating meat and cheese together, or milk, dairy, and meat. Like, I just stopped doing that, and I tried to restrict myself in every way. I stopped drinking soda. Like, that was big for me. I would drink Diet Coke like all the time. So like I wanted to be better in the eyes of God, and I feel like I have, and I keep a positive attitude every day and try to like take something in from God or from everything. And since I've been here, like all these, I mean, being around other like Jewish athletes has really helped me, especially Sam. So like, I ask him so many questions and he answers them, and he gave me an app to be more Jewish, or like things like that have really helped me. And like, when we went to the Western Wall, I could definitely attest to this, like that changes you completely, because it was hard for me because my grandfather passed away on Christmas Eve, and he was like my everything. He's still my hero. And I was thinking about him at the Western Wall. I touched the wall twice and did a prayer twice. And I touched it, and when I thought about him, like, just these tears came out of my eyes, and I didn't know where it came from, because it wasn't like, I didn't feel like I was crying. It was like this just emotion came out of me. And when I walked away, like, I immediately hugged Tyler and Sam, and Ben. So they definitely helped me out. And these things I've seen in my life where, like, when you have this belief in God, like, these things happen for a reason, and you get pushed things in your life for a reason. And I've seen that with like Mason, or like Tyler has been a blessing in my life. Like these things in life have been so much better for me since I've like had this like clarity in my mind. And being away from social media, being away from the anti-Semitism, I mean, as a Jew, like, I don't want to see that. Like, it's horrible. And it's also like fake propaganda to make us look bad, because if you ever saw us here, we're the best people you could meet, and like we're good people, and I want everybody to know that, and we'll never stop. Even if you want to try and beat us, we're going to keep coming back. And I mean, that's the Jewish way. I love that.
I think it's beautiful. At some point too in the future, I'm going to do an episode really on this trip to Israel, because, and it's not going to be political, that's not the point, but more of what are you not seeing by being in this country when you're on social media, and how different it is. Because the short answer is, I feel like I'm so safe here, and it's an absolutely beautiful place with a bunch of people that just want to live their life. So stay tuned for that. I do want to ask this question more maybe for my sake. You said this podcast changed your life. Was there like an episode that you liked, or a short, or something that hit home? Like, do you remember anything specific like that? Or is there anything that maybe is like still your favorite to this day?
So as Tyler's been a role model in my life, honestly, because he doesn't do anything wrong. He's also a great boyfriend to Brenna. So
shout out Brenna.
Shout out Brenna. Like things like that in my life is definitely like I don't have I'm an only child. I don't have siblings, so like having Tyler in my life has definitely like been very beneficial, of seeing him as like an example of who I want to be, because he definitely is that. And knowing that he didn't have social media made me like be like, yeah, well, maybe I shouldn't either, because like I want to be just like him in so many ways, and it's easy to want to be like him because he's such a good person. Now, I'm not saying that just because I'm on camera saying this. Like, I would say this to his face anyway. So, like, I would scroll on Instagram, and his stuff would come up, and I'd be like, oh my gosh, Tyler made a podcast? Like, I want to watch this. And I'd watch it, and then I'd be like, oh my gosh, I need to do this. If Tyler's doing it, I got to do it. So, when I saw that, I was like, I'm hooked. Let's get off social media. We're done. I'll be like Tyler. So when everyone else is like, Ben, you're weird for not having social media, I'm like, talk to him, not me.
Yeah. And I've had that same thing too. First, I appreciate the kind words.
Of course. It's easy.
But every time someone talks to me, they're always like, oh, like you're off social media, how do you do that? And I'm sure you can attest to it now. It's really not that difficult. And outside of maybe the couple sly comments from people that are on social media, it is really just a absolutely beautiful thing. Last question I have for you, Ben. If somebody watching this realizes they're where you used to be, what would you want them to hear?
I want you guys to hear that there's always something better. Like, it's always better being off social media. It's always, your life's just going to improve, because you'll have this clarity in your mind that it's not going to run 1,000 miles per hour. You're going to see things in life that are so much better than being on your phone. Because what my addiction was, it was very bad. Like, I was on it so much, where you get to experience things in life where you'll never experience on your phone. And I slowly had to realize that, and I'm glad I have now, because I'm in this beautiful country and I don't go on my phone much, and I'm soaking in all this like information that we take in every day, or have these relationships with people on this team, or coaches, or just people I'm learning from on this trip that I wouldn't have gotten being on social media or being on my phone all the time.
No, that's beautiful. And Ben, thank you so much for appearing on the podcast. We still got a little bit more trip left, and to the viewers too, upload schedule more consistent. I think we're gonna rock with the every other week for the episode, but you're gonna see a lot of good shorts, and really it allows me to break down the episode even more, because if you listen to this whole thing, this guy had some awesome knowledge to spread. So stay tuned for that, and for everyone else, tune in next week, or I guess the week after that, for more social media sobriety.
10 million likes right here.
Beautiful. Welcome back.
Dude.
Lock in!